Alright, let's dive right in. Today, we're unpacking a film we all think we know, but it turns out there's a whole other layer to it. We're talking about the surprisingly deep and honestly pretty overlooked psychological journey right at the heart of Frozen 2.
So I know. You're probably thinking, deeper than the first one? The one with Let It Go? Well, the analysis we're looking at today makes a pretty bold case. Absolutely yes. While the first movie was all about that huge, freeing anthem, this sequel is serving up something way more complex. And that kind of begs the question,
right? Why didn't it land with the same earth-shattering impact? Well, the answer might just be that it goes somewhere most stories just don't. It's not about the moment of breaking free. It's about what happens after you've let it go. It's about that tough, kind of messy, but totally essential second act. You know, what story experts call the return journey. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with that deeper message. Then we're going to look at Elsa's journey, which is all about looking inward, and Anna's, which is about looking outward. We'll see how they come together at the climax with the next right thing, and finally, what this new balance between the two queens really means. Let's jump in.
You see, most stories, and hey, let's be honest, most of us, get stuck in that let it go phase. It's like we love the explosion, the big breakthrough, that first rush of freedom. But Frozen 2, it's brave enough to ask, okay, now what? It's about the hard part. How do you take this new version of yourself and actually make it work back in the real world?
So let's kick things off with Elsa. Her whole story this time around isn't about breaking out of a castle. No, it's about diving deep, like headfirst, into her own soul. And to figure out where she's going, she has to go in two directions at once, inward into herself and backward into her past. So there's actually a name for this, the soul diver journey. And it's not about fighting some big bad guy out there. Not at all. It's about digging up your own history, facing your own truth. You know that siren call Elsa keeps hearing? It's not really coming from somewhere else. It's coming from inside her, from a piece of herself she didn't even know was there. And this is really what a return journey is all about. It sounds weird, right? How can you return to a place you've never been? But she is returning. She's returning to her roots. It's a lot like Po finding the panda village in Kung Fu Panda 3. Elsa is going back to where her mother came from, to her North Aldrin heritage. It's a past she never knew existed, but she has to understand it to figure out who she is right now. And wow, once she gets to Othel Holland, her journey just hits hyperdrive. I mean, it's wild. That river of memory is basically a crash course in Elsa 101. She finds out the real story of her family, she has this incredible moment with her mother's spirit, and through all that, she kind of levels up, right? She becomes this wiser, more powerful version of herself. And this is all just moments before she takes that final, terrifying leap into the deepest truth. And this journey is anything but easy. You know that old saying, to whom much is given, much will be required? Well, that's Elsa's life in a nutshell. She has this incredible, almost godlike power. And because of that, the universe is going to demand a lot from her to truly understand it. The further she goes into the heart of Othel Holland, the more that truth literally starts to freeze her solid. It pushes her right to the edge, to her breaking point. Okay, so that's Elsa's internal quest. Now let's flip the coin and talk about Anna. Because while Elsa is diving inward, Anna's journey is the complete opposite. It's all external. Her mission isn't about finding herself. She thinks she knows who she is. Her mission is to desperately, frantically hold her world together, to keep her family safe. And this has a name too. It's called the World Weaver Journey. Anna is all about connection, family, community, keeping things stable. She's the anchor, you know, the glue that holds everyone together. But here's the twist. That exact thing, her greatest strength, is about to become her biggest weakness. Think about where Anna is when the movie starts. She's living the dream. I mean, she has everything she ever wanted. Her sister's back, the gates are open, everyone's together. It's perfect. She's in pure bliss. But her terror of that perfection shattering, her fear of change is so powerful that it starts to twist her into something, well, something pretty dangerous. She's on the verge of becoming what some psychologists call the devouring mother. It's a really interesting idea. It's an archetype that loves so much it accidentally ends up smothering the people it's trying to protect. By holding on to Elsa so tightly, by fighting so hard against any kind of change, she's actually stopping her sister from growing. It's kind of like what Ralph did to Vanellope in Wreck-It Ralph 2, trying to keep things the same out of fear of being left behind. So all of this, it builds and builds until we get to the absolute heart of the movie.
the climax. Just picture it. Anna, all alone in a pitch black cave. She thinks Elsa is gone. She thinks Olaf is gone. She's lost everything. Her whole world has literally crumbled around her. And right there, at her lowest point, she has to make a choice that will decide the fate of, well, everything. And just think about the two paths in front of her. On one hand, she could give in to blame and fear. Right? She could blame the magic. She could blame the North Ultra. She could blame anybody, really. And if she does that, she just continues the same cycle of hate and trauma her grandfather started. Or she could do something so much harder. She can face a horrible, painful truth and decide to take responsibility for fixing a mistake that wasn't even hers. This moment right here, this is what's called the challenge of the throne. It's the ultimate test for any true leader. A real queen has to be willing to put the soul of her kingdom ahead of its physical existence. And that's why she has to destroy the dam. Yeah, it protects Arendelle, but it's also a monument to her grandfather's crime. To heal the past, she has to be willing to sacrifice the present. She literally has to be willing to lose Arendelle in order to save it. And then we get this absolutely perfect moment. Kristoff shows up, and he doesn't try to fix it. He doesn't tell her what to do. He just says, "I'm here, what do you need?" That right there is what a healthy partnership looks like. It's not about taking over, it's about supporting. It's that combination of love and labor that gives Anna the final push she needs to do the impossible. Okay, so this is where it all comes together. The two separate journeys, Elsa's inward one, Anna's outward one, they finally meet. And when they do, they don't just save the day, they forge a completely new, balanced future. Let's just walk through how this works, because it's brilliant. Step 1. Anna makes the ultimate sacrifice and provokes the giants to destroy the dam. Step 2. That act of moral courage is what breaks the spell and thaws Elsa out. And then Step 3. Elsa, now at full power as the fifth spirit, is free to use her magic to save the kingdom from the flood. You see? Neither one could have done it alone. Anna's act of responsibility enables Elsa's act of power. And what we're left with is this beautiful new balance. They each find the role they were truly meant for. Elsa isn't a queen stuck in a palace anymore. She's this elemental, mythic spirit who's finally free in the heart of nature. And Anna, after facing down her absolute worst fears, she becomes the steady, warm, and wise queen that Arendelle has always needed. She's the guardian of the people. So really, the big message here is that real growth, lasting growth, it's so much more than just letting go. For Elsa, it meant going back and digging up a painful truth. For Anna, it meant owning up to a past that wasn't even hers. They had to confront the ugly parts, the sins of their family, and actively make things right. And in doing that, they didn't just save their kingdom, they found their best, truest selves. And that really leaves all of us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? One that goes way beyond just a movie. The story shows us that sometimes our past, our history, might be built on things that are wrong or even on lies. And so the real challenge for them and for us is pretty simple, but it's not easy. Do we have the courage to look that history in the eye and just do the next right thing?